Hey, so I just posted a Not Marks video on proxy versus prospectus. And they mentioned something very cool, a one-step merger versus a two-step merger. And I like this because it's kind of interesting how it's not really what you think it is. So the one-step merger is actually a longer process than the two-step merger, which doesn't really make sense. So the one-step merger, the buyer negotiates with the seller, they get board approval, and then they put out for a vote. And this is going to take a long time because you have to wait for the vote to be tallied. You need the majority, and they could say no. In a two-step merger, the buyer actually just makes a tender offer. Now, I'll do real quick what a tender offer is when you offer to buy the shares and you go directly to their shareholders, you're not getting a vote. You're just saying, hey, the stock is trading at 30. I'm going to pay all of you 36, and you're going to set a threshold like I want 51% of the shares. Now, usually it's at least 20 days long, but it could be like a month or so to give everyone enough time for all the shareholders to tender their shares, which means to sell to the offer. If the buyer gets enough shares, they'll just buy the tendered shares. However, if they don't meet the threshold, the 51%, they'll just pull the deal and walk away. Now, depending on the state they're in, if the buyer ends up with like 90%, depending on the state of the shares, they can just squeeze out the remaining 10% and just force them to accept the cash offer. That's called a short form merger, part of the two-step. Let's say they don't have the 90% and they can't do a squeeze out. What they can do is have the target company do what they call a top-up, where the target company just issues more shares directly to the buyer to get them to the 90%, and then they do a squeeze-out, kind of like always away. And if that doesn't work, they just have to go back and do the regular long-form merger where they go get the votes and negotiate. It's a pain in the ass. But again, the reason you do a two-step merger is because it's quicker. You just have to offer to buy the shares, and that should be quicker than negotiating with a target, then getting the board approval, and then getting a vote where you need the majority. And the two-step merger, you just offer to buy the shares, and if you get enough shares, people to tender their shares, it's done. So guys, if you're going to take the 79, go check out Not My Marks. I should have a discount link in most of my 79 videos. I'm trying to create a whole series of Series 79 videos in conjunction, in partnership with Not My Marks. And and at the end, I'm going to learn all I can, and then I'm going to take the Series 79 online, and you get to see what kind of video they look like. Please go check me out on here, obviously on YouTube. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, I have a Q&A, 8:30 p.m. We talk about any kind of test, whatever it is. It's a real shit show, a lot of music, fun, all that stuff. Guys, let's go, baby.